What's up, everybody? One Fun Guy podcast in the studio again. Sorry about last night, guys. I needed the night off. I had a bunch of stuff to do. So tonight we're going to do 3 and 4 of the Metal Gods calendar, Advent calendar. So like I said before, guys, this is new. So what I'm going to do is just pop it open like this. And I'm going to pull them out and we're going to see who we have. So night 3 is going to be... Surprise, surprise, Freddie Mercury of Queen. This is Freddie Mercury. He is night 3, and then I'm going to do night 4. So I had a recap, coming up in a little bit. We're going to do night 4, which is technically tonight. Night 3 I didn't do. So let me see who is in night 4, and it looks like it's going to be the Bassmaster himself of Motley Crue, Mr. Nikki Sixx. So we have the first night was Dave Grohl, the second night was James Hetfield, the third night is Freddie Mercury, and the fourth night is Nikki Sixx, guys. So that was night 3 and 4. I'll do these every night, guys, until the 24th. Obviously, it's an Advent calendar. If you guys have been following the channel for a while, obviously it comes as no shock that I'm a huge fan of hard rock and heavy metal. Obviously, I have the Kiss, horror movies. My vinyl collection is mostly hard rock and heavy metal. I think I have a few stuff that's not, but I mean, for the most part, guys, if you've been following the One Fun Guy podcast for a while, most of the guests I've had on my show that have been in the music thing have all been hard rock and heavy metal people. It's just kind of the music I gravitate to. That's what I've listened to since I was a kid. Obviously, there's, some other eclectic music that I have, but I mean, for the most part, there are obviously some country and some old school stuff. Obviously, I grew up in an Italian household, so there was a lot of Frank Sinatra, a lot of Dean Martin, a lot of the crooner type stuff, which I love. That's what my dad listened to. My mom liked the oldies, right? So Chuck Berry, Buddy Holly, Bill Haley, Elvis, all the stuff that I grew up on was pretty much 50s, 60s, and 70s rock. So obviously that also was near and dear to my heart. But growing up in the 80s and early 90s, I was a huge fan of the hair metal. That's what kind of got me into music. The Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue, Skid Row's, Slaughter, all of that kind of stuff. And then I kind of went back in time to listen to a lot of the 70s old school rock, like the Doors, Zeppelin, the Beatles, the Stones, Pink Floyd. And then when I got to high school, obviously it was 1994. So the grunge scene had basically taken over. That was Alice in Chains, a lot of the Nirvana stuff, which I wasn't a big fan of. I really wasn't a huge fan, but I was a big Alice in Chains fan, and I still am. And that's when I was first really introduced to the likes of Pantera and Megadeth, Slayer, that what was playing in the locker room when I was a freshman. That was kind of, got me into that kind of scene. And then obviously through high school, I gravitated more towards the heavy metal side of things. My roots were in the 80s hair metal. So obviously having a Metal Gods Advent calendar is a big thing that's near and dear to me. I will say this. I know a lot of people, it says Metal Gods and, all that other stuff. It's just, it's one of those things where it's kind of like, I don't want to take away from the spirit of Christmas. Obviously, this is all in good fun, and I'm a huge, metal fan. But, I appreciate you guys following the podcast and watching me grow and, grow as a person, grow as an interviewer, grow as the guest that I have on my podcast. And so I really do appreciate all the love and support. It means a lot to me that you guys are still here 2 years later. My goal is to keep this going until I retire. And then when I retire, kind of get into the little bit of the bits and pieces of stuff that I just can't touch on now. It'll be a little bit of a eye opener to some. Some of you will say, it's no big deal. We just kind of knew it was only a matter of time. But with that being said, guys, for right now, I do appreciate the continued love and support. Obviously, it means the world to me that you guys are still here watching me and sharing my videos and liking all this stuff. If you can, go to the One Fun Guy podcast over on YouTube and subscribe. I'm almost at 600. I need to hit 1,000 to start monetizing it, guys. It doesn't seem like a lot, but 400 is a lot of people in the social media world. It doesn't seem like a lot in the grand scheme of things, but all of my stuff, guys, since the very beginning has all been organically grown. I have not bought any followers. I have not paid anybody to promote me in any way. Obviously, I spent a little bit of money doing some advertising stuff in the very beginning, but most of it's been me. But I have not paid anybody to get me followers on any of my platforms, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, or on YouTube. I refuse to do it. I want the people who follow me to be genuinely interested in what I'm doing, and I don't want to buy people just to buy people. I know it's a thing, and it probably would help me out a lot if I got to 1,000 people, because then I could monetize it. And I know if I spent probably $100, I could get 1,000 followers on YouTube. But I want the people that follow me to really follow me and like me and share me and enjoy what I put out and the content that I create. So I really wanted to do it more naturally and more organically than by anybody. So that's kind of where I'm at, guys. But I do have some guests lined up. I think I'm going to try one this Sunday to do a podcast. I know I said I was going to wait till after the first of the year, but I met a Chicago musician. She's pretty awesome, and she's pretty adamant about being on as soon as we can get that on. Or get her on. So I think I might try to do it this Sunday. If not, it'll be next Sunday. I said I was going to take the month of December off, but I kind of lied, because I'm going to try to squeeze her in. And I don't want to use the word squeeze her in, because I want to make time for her, because she's a really good musician, and she's got a great voice, and she's really into the hard rock and hardcore punk scene in Chicago, which is kind of right up my alley. So anyways, hopefully we get her on and that happens. But again, guys, thank you once again for being a part of the One Fun Guy podcast. I truly appreciate the continued love and support. I obviously couldn't do this without you. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the One Fun Guy podcast over on YouTube. And I will see everybody tomorrow night with the day 5 of the metal calendar. This video and all the other ones will be posted on YouTube. So guys, go to my YouTube channel. Please click on the link. It's in the bio. It'll take you right to my channel. All you need to do is subscribe and watch the video. If you can leave a comment, that would be great. Again, I appreciate the continued love and support, guys. Thank you all as always, and I will see you guys tomorrow night. Take care, everybody.